Or She Wants Revenge, Slop, or otherwise. One, we got to go over what is Slop. Second, how to detect a Slop. Three is how much of their catalog is Slop. Four is are they talented regardless, and will people even care? And then finally, we'll use all of that to tell you if you and other people are going to think if they are Slop or if they're going to think otherwise. And if otherwise, then what are they going to think? So without further ado, let's get into it. What is Slop? Slop, we have the music matrix. From 0 to 11, we have energy or intensity, whatever you prefer. And from 0 to 10 on the bottom, we have catchiness or how iconic or memorable the song is, right? And so if something is less than, if a song is less than a 7 in terms of catchiness, memorability, or how iconic it is, it gets called slop by people. Now, maybe people who are a fan of that genre would say, well, actually, it's whatever, but everyone else is going to call it slop. So it's slop. This is the slop line. If you're to the right of it, you are slop as a song. If you were to the left of it, you either get called rock if you're high intensity or pop if you're low intensity, low energy. Now, energy is easy to figure out for a song. Catchiness, not as much. Energy, real quick, 0 to 3, you're going to fall asleep. You're going to go to bed to that music. 3 to 7, it makes you want to dance, makes you want to like get up and move. 7 and 11, from that range, you're like fighting people, mosh pit, sprinting, you know what I mean, lifting weights, that kind of thing. Now, from 0 to 10, catchiness, how do we know if something's less than a 7 catchy? We know what slop is, 1, less than a 7 catchy, but 2, how do we detect it? Look here. We have the catchiness index. So catchiness, a lot of things go into it. It's very, very multifactorial. But we actually have one thing, predictability, which can give us the best bang for the buck in getting an idea of how catchy a song is, right? So if something's completely incoherent, makes no sense, a Mars Volta song, except for the ones that are good. But if it's completely goes nowhere, it's just like, what is even happening? This is garbage. It's slop, right? And then if it's completely corny and just like nothing's happening, it's also slop. It's completely forgettable. You just want to turn it off and skip on the radio, right? But if something's in the sweet spot between Back in Black by AC/DC and Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, it's in the money zone, right? And so just because something's in the money zone, it can still be slop, but it can also now be something that maybe just fans of that band or that genre might like, or it can also be something that's actually a hit that everyone's going to agree, this is really good, I like it. And this is hit quality. It doesn't mean it had to become a famous hit. It just means it was good enough that everyone's like, wow, this is good. It's kind of that hit quality range, right? Because that's the thing is, no one's catalog becomes entirely hits, really, like in terms of culturally becoming a hit, though quality-wise, catchiness-wise, it can be hit quality, right? There's no cap on hit quality songs, but just due to society, especially now as culture is getting more and more like segmented, things are hits within certain niches, right? Within the fan base of a band, all the songs can be hits, but to the broader public, no one could even know who they are, right? It's like, but so here we have catalog, and this is where things get interesting for She Wants Revenge, and just things in general. It's like, depending on how much of relative amount of each of these things there are in the catalog, whether it's hits that are for everyone, stuff that's just going to be for fans of that genre or band, and then stuff that's going to be for no one that's totally slop, right? So if we look over here, this is a hit or quit model. Weezer, Queen, I think, are examples of that. You can debate me, but the concept is something where everything's really good or it's complete garbage and you skip it. It's either stuff that everyone could like or no one's going to like. Stuff that's on a playlist at a party, everyone's going to be like, oh, this is good. Or stuff that everyone's going to be like, please skip this right now. There's no one in the middle. No one in the middle on it, right? OnlyFans model, that's when, if you're a fan of, the band or the genre, you're going to get a lot of mileage. But most people probably haven't heard of the band because there's very little hits or duds. I would say you kind of got a little bit of this with She Wants Revenge, but actually they're closer to, they're kind of like a mix between these two, or these three really. They're what I'm going to say is a slightly above 50-50 catalog, right? Which would be like, they might have some stuff that people are going to skip even if you're fans, you know what I mean? But the ratio of it is, let's say there's an album worth of music across the entire, let's say She Wants Revenge, I think, including albums and EPs, let's say they've got 4 albums or 5 albums worth of music, right? I would say they have maybe 3 albums worth of just like really good stuff that everyone's gonna like, 2 albums worth of stuff that just the fans are gonna get good mileage out of, and maybe an album's worth of stuff that the fans are like, I'm gonna skip this too. I don't care for it. So I think that's kind of where they land. And since they have an above 50-50 ratio and they don't have a lopsided thing like this or that or this, which is not the best, because most of what they have is universally seen as good, it's going to be, people aren't going to be split on the quality of the music, right? But what might split them is this next part, which is, are they talented, right? Now, talent means different things to different people, and maybe talent's not, the exact precise word, but it gets enough of the idea across so you understand what we're talking about, and we're talking about the right concept, right? And so talent over here, there are kind of like 3 different buckets that can split people with what they look for in music, right? This bucket is just, is it really good, catchy, incredible songwriting, right? So that's where, lyrics, live show, songwriting, riffs, how memorable it is, all that stuff is really the most important thing for these people. Then some people just, it's not even musicianship, but it's more, does this inspire me? Like, oh my God, that's incredible. That's the coolest sounding thing ever. I need to learn how to play guitar. I need to learn how to play bass and like learn that. I need to learn how to sing and sing that. Showing Revenge doesn't really have that as much. I would give him a yellow, because like there is cool stuff in there as a musician that does inspire me, but it's not like I hear this and go, wow, I need to make music right now. I'm so inspired. That's so epic. And that's kind of what this is, right? So bands like Polyphia get that. Even though their songwriting's red, their musicianship, virtuoso inspiration thing is maxed out, 10 out of 10, right? So the people who just care about one and not the other are going to disagree with each other, right? Now with Brand, I'm going to say She Wants Revenge. Historical past, I would say historical, they probably had more impact, right? Present, most people aren't really talking about them. Aesthetic is incredible, though. Stage design, okay. Outfit's good. Themes, album art, merch. I would say probably a yellow, and then a green. So in general, people are either going to be indifferent if you're in these 2 buckets and probably pretty happy with them if you care about the songwriting. But overall, I think people are going to be kind of either indifferent or like them. So people aren't going to be split here. So now we're going to actually go, we gonna look at what's happening. Now, overall, are they going to be slop? Are they going to be pop? Are they going to be rock? Are they going to be punk? Are they going to be indie? Are they going to be something in between? It's electronic goth dark wave. It's a subgenre. It's a subgenre of electronic goth wave. Darth goth wave. Now, so most people think in general, what do I think in general for them? And so I think what most people do is they remember the songs they remember. And they go, out of those top 10 songs that I like the best, which are the ones I remember the best, and the ones that I'm going to bias the most, where were they? And so for me, these are my top 10. Your top 10 might be different, but probably be in a similar spot. A little bit harder now. That's really good. Tear You Apart. Your Love, Out of Control, All Wound Up. I Don't Want to Fall in Love. Monologue, Broken Promises, and Broken... Oh my God. Forgot Broken Secrets, I think is the rest of that name. Sister, Red Flags, and Long Nights. And so basically for me, you can see the energy level is all kind of like really right here in this like slightly punkier than like a pop fan is going to be comfortable with. So it's kind of really starting to push that, but it's not getting to the point where it's like, oh my God, I need to run, lift weights. This is like super high energy. It's getting intense. It's more intense than pop music. It's really getting intense. But it's not going crazy. It's not going into the metal zone. But it's getting intense. It's getting intense for sure. So that makes sense. And then you got some 7s, you got some 5s. And so, yeah, they end up at a 5.8, a little bit under a 6 here. And then you come over to 8.5 in terms of catchiness. So, yeah, you can see where it's like, okay, some of these songs are like kind of on this indie punk thing, but it's getting poppy. So kind of here. And then because of the average, it bumps them up. Maybe to like, what did I say, 5.8? Oh, yeah, so yeah, this range. Their whole catalog is kind of here, right? Okay, I don't know where I left off, but basically at a 5.8 in terms of energy and an 8.5 in terms of this is kind of probably where their catalog sits, is about in this range. Give a big circle kind of here if you plotted every single song. My top 10 is usually going to be, the most leftmost corner and the highest corner. So if you kind of had, like, let's say it's a square, right? It's going to be the top left corner. So that makes sense to me. And so I think most people are going to say they're catchy. because if you look at it, it's probably like a little bit that's below the slop line. But even then, if you're just even vaguely a fan of the genre, if it's between like a 6 and 7 or a 5 and a 7, and you're a fan of that genre, you're gonna be like, well, it's not slop. For you as a fan, you might push the slop line back to like a 5.5 in your thing, or like back to 6. And so in that case, people are going to be like, this is all within the quality zone. And then even people who aren't fans are still going to be like, well, it's mostly here. It's mostly rock and pop. There's a little bit of like stuff that's slop, but mostly it's rock and pop. So people aren't going to call them slop. Some people might call them rock. Some people might call them pop. Since we're on the borderline, either's probably going to be fine, going to be expected. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe, comment. Let me know what you want below. If you're a Latina, hit me up. Austin, Texas. Latinos, hit me up. And then, let me know what you guys want to see next. What songs, what bands, what things like that. And I'll see you in the next video. Next one is doing MGMT. Bye.